There we go. Okay, you ready for me to go ahead and get started?
Yes, yep, I am ready.
Okay. Well, first, I want to commend all of you lovely people for being here tonight and for giving me an opportunity to even share my story and what it is that I do. And I already know that you are mama bears. I don't know if we have any Papa Bears on here, but I know I know that you all are already Mama Bears, and so I just want to introduce myself. I am too a Mama Bear. So I met Zoe, what, a week or two ago?
Not that long ago. It might be a
About
few
two
weeks
weeks
now, but
ago.
I'm losing track of time.
And we kind of resonated with each other.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to go ahead and get into my presentation, and then we'll have a couple of minutes before we transition with Zoe for you all to ask me some questions. If you're not comfortable coming on the mic and asking questions, definitely put the questions in the chat. I'm an open book. If you have questions about essential oils in general, feel free to type those in the chat as well. Okay, so with that being said, I'm Christina Gray. I am an essential oil practitioner, and I'm also the founder of Rejoicing with Oils. So today I want to share with you not just what I do, but why I do what I do. And so this is a story that is rooted in personal experience and a deep passion for natural healing. So as you can see, I am a military veteran. I'm also a military spouse, and I've lived in South Korea and all other places. But while living in South Korea, that's really when my world changed. And it changed after my daughter's diagnosis of ADHD. And that's when I blindly followed what the physician said, agreeing to place her on medication instead of therapy, because I thought the physician knew what was best for my child. Now, I never did any of my own research. Even when the side effects from the medication made my child feel suicidal, um, had restless nights of sleep, developed an eating disorder. None of this pushed me to start doing my own research until she got diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome. So we moved back to the USA, and I started noticing that my daughter was moving her hands and her legs and jerking motions. And me not understanding what was going on, I'm like, stop it. And she's like, but mom, I can't. And so these movements got worse. And so I looked at her, or I took her to see a nurse practitioner, and we were in Pennsylvania at the time. And the nurse practitioner told me, oh, that's perfectly normal. I beg to differ because it did not look normal to me. And so I took her to see an actual pediatrician who assured me that my child's violent tics were not normal. And her first action was, let's take her off the ADHD medication to see if the tics would stop. Well, they didn't, because the damage was already done. My child was throwing her head back violently, and I could hear what sounded like bones cracking in the back of her neck. Um, she would be doing, or she would be throwing her head back, jerking motions from morning until noon, morning until night. Another thing that developed was her verbal tics. And so she became really hoarse. So my daughter had verbal tics and motor tics. And her pediatrician recommended some medication to suppress the tics. Um, they were supposed to suppress the tics and help my child relax. And it only did it for like a few hours. It wasn't like a sustained type thing. So this medication, as we all know, came with some unpleasant side effects. So after witnessing the side effects of traditional medication, I knew that there had to be another way. My child actually asked me, Mom, is there another way? So this is pretty much the core of my why. So this realization kind of sparked a quest for answers and a journey that led me to the transformative power of essential oils. So I literally poured myself into studying the science and therapeutic potential of essential oils. I also studied what ADHD is and what system of the body is affected and what essential oils support those systems. I did the same thing with Tourette's syndrome. So this wasn't just a hobby. I did a deep dive into understanding how these natural compounds could support my child. And this knowledge blossomed into what I call now rejoicing with oils. So from this journey, I developed my unique approach, which is called the 3Rs method. And it's designed to guide you back to wholeness, or your child back to wholeness. And the first R is revelation. So using advanced scans or a virtual scan, I'm able to uncover hidden imbalances within the body, especially on an emotional level. So hidden imbalances help us find out why we are not sleeping, or why our energy levels are so low, or what our emotional stressors are. Emotions. A lot of people ignore emotions when it comes to their health. We always overlook the emotional aspect of it. My belief is that if we don't address the emotions that are driving our buses, to include our little people's buses, then our bodies are no longer at ease. Okay. So I'm a big, big advocate for addressing the emotions. So once I have those revelations, we move on to the second R, which is restoration. So I create personalized protocols with essential oils and compatible products to restore balance and promote restoration within the body. And I repeat, I create personalized protocols. I do not have a one-size-fits-all approach. So by adding compatible products, that allows me to take a more holistic approach. And my focus is always on the goal, restoring balance and promoting the body's natural ability to heal. And finally, the most rewarding R is rejoicing. So my greatest reward is always seeing my clients rediscover wholeness and vibrant health. So this is the outcome, the joy of seeing transformation. Wholeness includes mind, body, as well as spirit. Vibrant health, not just the absence of illness, but thriving. Those are the things that I rejoice about. So my why also extends to a very personal mission, starting with my own experience with PTSD, which fuels my dedication to helping fellow veterans. Essential oils have been a game changer for me personally when it comes to I'm passionate about sharing their transformative power with others in the veteran community.
There we go.
Oops. Okay, there we go. So why essential oils? Well, they're natural. They're plant-derived solutions. They support the body's own healing mechanisms. They're versatile and they can be used for various concerns. And the biggest thing is they are empowering because they give individuals tools for self-care. So let me calm everybody's fears. Yes, I would love for you to purchase products from me, but that's not why I do what I do. More than loving you purchasing products from me is having a peace about the journey that your child is on, whether they have a learning difference or not, mama bears are going to go above and beyond when it comes to taking care of our children. I'm also a homeschooling mom. I've only homeschooled my children because my belief is nobody else is going to care more about my child's education than me. Now, what I am offering you all tonight, and it's only for those of you that are with Zoe's program, the Parent Power Hour special. What I'm going to offer you first is a virtual scan. Okay. And so normally that's about $150. I'm going to have you all bundle and save about 30%, I believe, with the both of those prices combined, because you'll be getting the virtual scan as well as the consultation. So what's a virtual scan? It's a transdermal optical imaging scan. And what it does is it detects the blood flow underneath your skin, and it lets us know out of your 4 core body systems what needs the most support. Lets us know the same information about your 6 lifestyle areas, and then it lets us know what emotions are currently driving your bus and how we can address those, okay? Not to get too sciencey. I hope I'm not going over my time, Zoe, but not to get too
You're
science.
good.
Okay, good. In the middle of our brain, we have what's called the amygdala. And the amygdala is responsible for retaining emotions and memories and releasing emotions and memories. And so when it comes to using essential oils, they help our bodies to be able, or that amygdala to be able to release those emotions that are currently driving our bus or our little ones' buses at the time. Okay. So if you have more questions about that, I'm going to give you some time to ask questions once the presentation is over. But if you know for sure you want to go ahead and do the scan, for those of you that purchased the scan, you have until tomorrow night at 9 p.m. to purchase the scan. You can take a picture of the QR code here to the left, and whichever child you have in this program, they will get their scan for free. Now, let me also calm your concerns about the scan. The scan is not taking any pictures of your baby. All it's doing is scanning their the blood flow underneath their skin. There's not going to be pictures of your baby going over the internet in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Now, for those of you that are like, you know what, that's pretty cool, but I think I really want to learn more about the essential oils. So what I'm offering you is the kids oil collection. And I love this little kit because it helps little people to start paying attention to what's going on with their emotions and with their bodies. And so they're all color coded, and there's little flashcards, and it helps them understand, let's say they're having a tough time focusing. Well, they know that they're having a tough time focusing. And so when Mama Bear starts teaching them, okay, if you're having a tough time focusing, you're going to get your yellow oil, the thinker. And we're going to rub that on the back of our neck. We're going to rub it on our chest. And then we're going to take a couple of deep inhalations. You're helping your child to self-regulate. Okay, if they're having problems falling asleep at night, well, they know. Well, not all the time, depending on their age. The little people don't know, but the bigger people do know. Then you're going to want them to use the calmer, which is the restful blend. Okay, and so you kind of get where I'm going with that. You're helping your children to pay attention to what's going on in their bodies. There's even one for if they have an upset tummy, maybe they ate too much, they'll know which one to go and get that for, okay? I also have a QR code available for you guys for that one. So if my story resonates with you or someone you know and you're ready to explore a path to radiant health or become more of a mama bear than you already are, you can schedule a 15-minute consultation with me for free, and we can explore how Rejoicing with Oils can help you and your baby. Or you can text me. My number is right there. So together, we can unlock the inner potential and step into a life of radiant health and happiness with essential oils for you and your family. This is my little lady, the one that got the whole thing started. She's 20 now. She has graduated, and she is not on any medication. She still does have Tourette's syndrome, but it is taken care of when it comes to the essential oils and supplements that she takes on a regular basis. So my child really knows how to kind of self-regulate. And she knows environments that may bring her stress. And so she knows how to prepare for them and everything. So my website is up there as well as my email. And it's okay if I stop screen sharing now and maybe answer some questions.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
And thank you so much for this presentation.
You're welcome. I can't get back to.
This is, yes,
Can
great
you stop screen
information.
share?
It looks like, wait, let me see. Okay,
Okay, there we
now
go.
it's good. Now
Got
it's
it.
good. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, thank you so much for this presentation. Again, is very informative. I love the idea of holistic health. I think when we're talking about cultivating the whole child, this pairs really well. Um, Academics are important, but also being able to make sure we are right in mind, body, and soul, all of those things, social and emotional well-being. So yeah, I really appreciate you being able to share this
So
information.
did anybody have any questions for me? And like
Mhm.
I said, I'm an open book, and I wish that I had known everything that I know now, or that I had somebody that maybe just planted a seed and told me about it earlier. Woulda, shoulda, could have. But, don't miss this opportunity to ask somebody some questions and get them answered.
Mhm.
Okay, I see a question in there. Asia, is there a certain age and or oils to avoid for kids of certain ages? Not really, depending on the company. I shouldn't say the company, I should say the grade of essential oils. Now, the concern comes when you're pregnant, okay? And there's another concern for epileptics when it comes to using essential oils. So I tell my clients, you need to make sure that you're getting a good quality essential oil. The essential oils that I carry are a medicinal grade essential oil. So some of the things that that I'm looking to help my clients with, they're not going to be able to go to Target and get those oils and have the same effect because it's a lower grade essential oil and it's not as clean of a product. Okay.
Mhm.
So there's no other questions. Everybody just loves
Oh,
essential oils.
I see another one in here though. I see one about how long consistency of use to begin seeing results.
It depends. So one of the reasons I like, if you can't decide if you want to get the kids collection or do the scan, I'm going to say do the scan. And one of the reasons why I offer the scan is because a lot of times everybody knows lavender to do what? Lavender's calming, right? Oh, you're having problems sleep. Okay, we'll just give you some lavender. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not a one size fits all. I'm not that type of teacher. What I want to know is, well, why are you not sleeping? Okay,
Mhm.
so I'll use one of my clients as an example. She had a baby who was autistic, and they had the poor baby on some type of heart medication to help the baby sleep. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense at all. Okay. And so this was when I was really into the beginning stages of essential oils and just starting to do a little bit of research. And I said, oh, here, take the lavender. That'll help him sleep. Well, it didn't. And one of the reasons why it didn't help him sleep is because he's autistic. And when it comes to our autistic babies, they need essential oils that are from the ground because what do we want them to be? We want them to be more grounded, more present in the moment. And so what I did is I started looking at all of the oils that are like from the roots, like vetiver is one, some oils that are from the earth. And I found out, oh, I did a little, what am I trying to say, rollerball for her. And she was like, oh my gosh, it knocked him out. But does that even make sense that in order to get your child to sleep, you're going to put him on a heart medication? Where the essential oils were not hurting him in any way. But getting back to the scans, what the scan does is the scan lets me know what's going on, why you're not sleeping, why your baby's not sleeping, and it helps me, or it helps me to, what am I trying to say? It helps me understand which essential oils are compatible with your DNA. So it takes the guesswork out of it. Whereas before the scans, it was here, try this, try that, try this, try that. And that doesn't save anybody money. But the scan saves a lot of my clients money because 9 times out of 10, they're going to have an experience with the essential oils. Were there some more questions, Zoe?
Yes, yeah, so I also see what if we have two kids? Um
If you have 2 kids in the program, then
mhm.
both your kids will get the scan for free as long as you buy an adult scan. I'm not, like I said, I want to give you help that I did not have for my child.
Yeah. And then, okay, great. And then I also see, do you have anything that deals with cortisol overproduction?
Actually, I do. Now, I'm looking for one of my guides, and it's not with me right now, but I do. And even more so, the scan would be able to tell me better what's going on if you do have the high cortisol. And I've been there, done that with the deployments. My cortisol was like off the daggone charts. Okay, Asia
Mhm.
says, how is the scan
Scan.
done? So when you go to my website and you purchase the scan, it's going to have you fill out some information, and the information is going to be your name, your email address, your telephone number, I think it's your date of birth, and then your gender. And once you fill out all of that, I'm able to send you the scan. And it comes to your email. You'll download the app and you can take your scan with your smartphone. Okay? Does that
Mhm.
answer your question, Asia?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you success using essential oils to help their kids with emotional regulation, especially during the times of big change? Yes. Yes, I had there's an oil that I like to recommend because I am military. Um, Chelsea, and I know you're military, and it's called Adaptive, and that was actually the first oil that I put on my child with the Tourette's. And I noticed that immediately, like a calm came over the child's face. And that's when I was like, well, wait a minute, there's something to these essential oils. And so I need to start really looking and doing some research. But yes, I would recommend Adaptive for the any times during the big changes, like the deployment, as well as for the kiddos. Okay. Okay. What essential oils have you found most helpful for calming routines or managing anger in young children? Depends on the baby. Um, like I said, autistic babies, the oils are, there's an essential oil blend called Balance that I like to use with them. But vetiver is really, really good. And vetiver is also another oil that my child likes to use, as well as frankincense. Frankincense is a good one to help with lowering the anger in those little people. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Did I miss anything else?
I think just one more question at the end. Is it, because she was driving, is it a scan of your face or something that is scanned?
It's a scan of your face. Yeah, you're gonna hold it up. You're gonna hold your smartphone up to your face, and then you're gonna see like a circle picture of your face, like a mirror image of your face. And so what it's doing is it's just like scanning. So like you all may be familiar with the reflexology chart on the bottoms of your feet and on your hands, and
Mhm.
there's certain systems and organs and all of that. You have the same thing on your face. Okay, and
Mhm.
so that's how it's able to detect what's going on within your body.
Mm.
Hope I answered
Uh,
that question.
yeah, these are great questions, guys.
Yeah.
So, any other questions? Those were good.
Oh, I think there might be a new one. Oh, she got it. Okay, good. Good, 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 good.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. Any kind of I guess last words in regards to the oils.
Any last words in regards to the oils? Everybody has what can work for them.
Mm,
Essential oils just happens to be the tool that worked for me and for my baby.
mm,
But so many wonderful things came out of me learning about that tool and using that tool that I don't think I would be as knowledgeable as I am about self-care. And that's not self-care of getting your nails done, going to get a massage, but self-care of what's going on in my life, even as a mom, because my PTSD or came about because I was so focused on taking care of my child. And so I put myself on the back burner. And so, yes, we want to be mama bears, but if we don't take care of mama, then the little bears don't get taken care of. And so don't just look at this as something to take care of your baby, because believe it or not, mamas need the care as well. And so I'm saying on a final note, this is a holistic thing to take care of the entire family. And so mamas need to be taken care of so that the little bears can be taken care of as well. Okay.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all of this.
You're welcome.
Seriously, it's a great, well-rounded presentation. And yes, let's give a shout out to Christina in the chat box. Super appreciate this. Don't know if I can follow it up as as well now with my portion. But
I'm excited for your portion. I'm gonna stay if that's okay.
yes, oh my goodness. Yes, I would love you to, of course. Yes, so I'll have like basically what we're gonna do is I'm very interactive. So, if you're able to turn your camera on, I love it. I love the personal connection. If you can't, I get it. I know it's late. I get it. But it will be like kind of interactive, like the way that I have the kids do something. Um, I'll probably have the parents do something. Never not doing. So that's my motto. So let me go ahead and share this with you guys so you can see it. Okay. Um, and these will be some great strategies that hopefully you can use at home. We've got one for more of our phonics pod friends, and one for our comprehension pod friends. So there's something for everybody. Um, okay, so two things are going to work on today. It's going to be heart words and stop and jot comprehension strategy. Okay, so I'll just put those in the chat box, but those are kind of the two things we're going to be focusing on. I'll do like a little heart words strategy demo and talk about that. We'll do a little quick interactive heart word practice, then the same thing. Stop and jot strategy demo, then a little interactive reading and annotation with you guys. Okay. So, heart words. And there's a specific reason that I chose this, which I'll kind of show you on the next slide. I was trying to think about themes of what I see in a lot of students' assessments when I do the assessments with your children. Um, and things that I think can easily be done at home for reinforcement. So heart words, this is kind of a new thing under the umbrella of the science of reading, which science of reading is kind of just a new way to teach reading. It's research backed, just best practices. So, heart words are words that cannot be sounded out completely using phonics rules alone. And we're going to get into some actual examples of what that means. This is also like what I teach the kids when we do warm-ups in the phonics pod. Um, and then why are they important? These high frequency words appear in 50 to 75 of all texts that students read. But again, the words don't necessarily sound the way that the way that you spell them. So when you're like, I don't understand why my child's not getting this. Well, it's because they have to be explicitly taught the pattern, because that's very confusing for a child to think that they hear something, but the way that they're spelling it does not match, so very confusing. And then so basically we mark the tricky parts of the word or the word that you need to remember by heart, um, with a heart. And then I realized that I could just like play it like this full screen. Okay. I'm gonna get it right. Um, okay. This is an example of just like a little snippet that I took from a student assessment. You can obviously see like this is the sight words piece. We call them sight words, but really, they are heart words. Um, a lot of these words have tricky letters, again, that they're not spelled the way that they sound. And so this is where a lot of kids can really make growth. And if they learn these words that we see a lot in books, um, it really helps to automatically increase reading level. It's the most bang for your buck, I guess you could say. Um, and so, so for example, students will read the word come, C-O-M-E, as calm if they were actually reading it the way that if the sound matched the spelling, or they might, it was the word said, they might read it as sayed, right? Because they don't know that the AI is making an sound. So this is what can kind of cause that frustration with words like this. So we're going to kind of take a moment to practice heart words with visual cues, um, in the next slide here. Okay, so modeling kind of my example here. Um, nope. There we go. Okay, so 3 words we can take a look at here. We have the word have, we have the word said, and then hold on, I have to move myself out of the way. All right, let me go up here and let me play it again. Okay. And we have the word come. So here's some kind of just rules to help break this down, right? Um, so in the word have, we've got H and A. They follow the phonics rules, right? We hear a h, we hear a v, or we hear an a. We also hear the v. So HAV, they all follow the correct rule, right? Kids have to really just memorize the heart part, which is that there is a silent E in this word. That's just something we have to memorize. So silent E would get the heart over that letter. For example, in the word said, S follows the phonics rule, right? D follows the phonics rule. I hear the sound D in there, but the AI is making an sound, not the A sound. So that's confusing. So AI needs to get the heart. That's the part that kids have to just memorize about that word. And so we actually just teach them that exact thing. For example, let's see if you guys can respond in the chat box to this one. with the word come. And you have some notes here to help you out. In the word come, what would get the heart? What letters or letters do you think would get the heart, and why? And then it doesn't let me click on the chat box from here, which is like so annoying. So let me just, oh, I'm all over the place. Okay, let me look here. Okay. Yep, so I see, yep, I see somebody's got it. The O and the E need to get the heart because E is a silent letter and because O is making an sound, which should be letter U if it were a normal word. So yes. Okay. Just wanted to make sure, kind of doing a check in there because we're gonna do like an interactive example of that one in a second. Okay, then just previewing for you the stop and jot, which is the comprehension strategy. So what is this? This is a reading strategy where students can pause really quickly to write notes about what they're thinking while they're reading. Very basic strategy, but very powerful because as we know, a lot of times kids just want to read something so they can get it done, so get it over with. But we actually want them to think about what they're reading, and take notes on it and internalize it. So why we use this again, help them stay engaged, monitor comprehension, and remember important details from what they're reading. And how we can do this is by using annotation symbols to kind of mark questions that we have, connections, a vocabulary word we might want to circle, a favorite part that we had during reading. So there's actually little symbols that we can teach kids to use to do this. So that's the stop and jot. And here's an example of why we use a comprehension strategy. So this particular example, this student I kind of just highlighted in red. This is like a third, fourth, or fifth grade student. But we were reading a book about Cleopatra, and it was asking like, why was she an interesting ruler? And the child kind of just told me off at the top of their head, kind of just, sometimes we do like to like make it up a little bit. Um, and so I was really trying to teach them to go back to the text to look for the answer. Also, when I asked what papyrus was, I mean, it was very cute. The child had said it was like the royal family. And I was like, oh, we got to reread that because papyrus is actually what they used to write on back in the day. That's what the Egyptians were writing on. So teaching kids to go back to the text and find the actual text evidence is really important. So teaching them how to reread. So here is our annotation symbols chart. I can also send you guys an example of what this looks like. There's a question mark, obviously, for when you have a question. There's an exclamation mark when you have like that aha moment and you want to take a note of it. A heart for a favorite part of the story that you want to heart that part of the story. Vocabulary, I usually teach kids just circle the word. But there's just different little symbols that you can use with kids. And so getting into just like that quick interactive practice where we can actually try this out. If you happen to have paper and pencil in front of you, so I'm like always asking your kids if they have paper and pencil in front of them when we do our sessions. So if you have paper and pencil, that's awesome. I always feel like when you write something, you remember it better. But also if you want to like just do any responses in the chat box too, that's also great. That also works. So thinking about recapping for our first strategy heart words. The heart part of the word is used for silent letters, letters that do not make a sound in the word, or a letter that has a tricky part where the sound doesn't match the spelling. So just to kind of recap that. So let's see if you guys can try using the word could. Using the word could. So if you want to just like write down the word could and then decide where would you put the hearts. Or if you want to write in the chat box where you would put the hearts and why. And I will be sending out this presentation. There's also a collection of heart words. So you'll get a copy of that that has the hearts already on them that you can use as like flashcards. That's helpful for kids. So using the word could. Mm-hmm. And could it, yeah, could is tricky. But the good thing is that if you then teach your kid should and would and rhyming words, they get to see that same strange pattern. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm teaching the kids right now. Thank you for holding that up on Zoom. I love it. I love it. Um, yes. Does anybody care to speak out to kind of why you put the heart where you put it if you want to?
I'll speak out.
Hey! Star student.
I am only hearing the C and the D. I've said it over and over to myself. So if there's an L sound, then I'm gonna feel stupid. But
No, you're on to something. You are really onto something. Like it's actually crazy, like as an adult, what you can learn because you're like, wait, these are things I thought, like I just know it. But
Mhm.
when it's being taught to a kid, it's like, wait a second. But yeah, I would circle O, U, and L. Yeah, because you're not hearing the L. Yeah, you're not hearing the L. And then the OU is also a tricky word pattern that sounds different in various words. Um, so really the C and the D are the only letters that are doing like a normal thing and following the rules. The other letters are not following the rules. Yeah, no, that's great. And I see you guys even got some things in the chat box. Thanks. I had to teach myself these things or learn these things over time too. Like I would not have thought about these things. Okay, let's do one more for fun. The word, the word any, any. Like, are there any people here? Any. This one is also tricky. Okay.
Zoe, for the record, I have like two masters and I don't really feel confident in this answer.
It's yes. No, that's okay.
I need essential oils, Christina. Like the stress, my
I
heart
know.
is palpitating right now. Like this, no, ma'am, we get it. We
Right.
need you sold. Okay, we got it. We re-upping for another term. We good. Like
Right. It's like we need the academics and the oils. This is perfect. Now we need all the things in one. But yes, no, you guys are right though. It's the A because it's making an S sound, any. And then at the end of the word, we're making an E sound, but we have a letter Y. So it is A-N-Y. It is A-N-Y, yes. We are learning new things as adults. You would have never thought, right? But
You need an adult version of your reading program.
it's really funny you say that because I have had inquiries for like, do you do like adult reading? And I'm like, I don't know. I work with the elementary kids and then that's where I stop. Um, but yeah, no, it really is interesting that when you think about the breakdown of words, like you don't think about what automatically comes to you, but when a child is learning this, it's like that's confusing. Rightfully so. Like English is a very hard language to learn,
I
actually.
have a
So,
favor, Miss Zoe. Can you tell our
mhm.
kids that we're really smart? It's just that we have signed a covenant agreement with you to not teach them these things because
Yes.
like in my mind, I'm so old school and my like beginning education was, I mean, it's British, but still, in a different place. I'm just, been in America for so many years. So even like my foundation, when pronounce the letters, it is so different from them and they're
Mhm.
obnoxious, right? So they look at me like, why don't you know that? And I'm like, I know how to read, like
I can
whatever.
I can see them actually saying that.
Yeah, like my kids are, you know what I'm saying? So I know how to read. I just don't know how to sound a letter out how you want me to sound a letter.
Yeah.
So
No,
thank you.
it can be hard, but yes, no, I'm gonna let them know like it's okay, guys. We we got this. We got an agreement. We're gonna learn these patterns. No, it can really be tricky, but once you get it, it's kind of fun to play around with the words. But yeah, this will really help them at home for sure. So that would be the heart word strategy. And then there's the stop and jot strategy. So that's more for like our comprehension friends. But you can adapt all of these things to different levels as well. It's not like the heart words. Heart words can be used like in a harder way as well. Um, but just generally, the stop and jot would be more for comprehension. So let me stop my share here and then share again here. Okay, so this is actually an activity that we have done before in a comprehension pod, something similar to this, where again, we're reading a longer, more in-depth passage, and then kids have to annotate the text, which is really just working with the text, like using strategies to work with the text. Um, so basically, we teach them how to use these different symbols. So, I am going to do a quick story time with you guys as a model example of this. And then if you want to write something down on paper, sure. Again, if you want to write in the chat box, whatever works. We'll just be focusing on basically what annotation symbol did you use? And then just explaining why. Okay, so, and my kids still remember now how the popsicle was invented. So if you have a child and you know they're in the comprehension pod, ask them. Because who was just telling me the other day, actually, Isaiah was just telling me the other day all the details and how he remembers this. So I was very impressed. Okay, so a chilly discovery. On a frosty night in 1905, a forgotten cup and stir stick led to one of the most delicious mistakes in history, the invention of the popsicle. An 11-year-old boy named Frank Epperson lived in San Francisco, California, where he loved experimenting and creating fun mixtures with flavored soda and water. One chilly evening in November, Frank got distracted and he accidentally left his mixture outside on the porch overnight with the stir stick still in it. The next morning, when Frank went outside, he found a surprising discovery. The temperature had dropped so low during the night that the mixture had frozen, To his amazement, the mixture had turned into a sweet, icy treat on a stick. Frank didn't realize it at this time, but he had just invented the very first popsicle. His friends started calling this new treat the Epsicle, a fun combination of Epperson's last name and the word icicle. It took him some years, but in 1923, Frank decided to patent his accidental invention. By this time, he was a father, and his children loved his invention so much, they kept calling it Popsicle, as in father's popsicle. Eventually, the name was shortened to what we all know and love today as the popsicle. Who knew? Honestly, I really didn't till I read this with them. Today, popsicles are loved by people of all ages around the world, especially on hot summer days. They come in many different flavors, from cherry to orange to grape, but they all started as an accident by a boy in California. So the next time you enjoy a popsicle, remember the story of Frank Epperson and his sweet chili mistake. Okay, so that would be an example of something that we would do in our comprehension pod and read and kind of dig deeper into it. So now what I'll have you guys do as practice is to pick one of the items from the bottom. So you could choose to circle a key term that is important to the text. So practice, find a vocabulary word and circle it. This is exactly what I would ask the kids to do. Or put a question mark next to something that you maybe have more of a question about, you don't understand. You can put a star next to a piece of information that you think is important. So you might want to write down a star and then put the sentence that you're starring. Usually, obviously, kids can interact directly on this digital text, but for our purposes, you can just write down the star and then what the sentence is, or maybe an exclamation, something you thought was surprising. So any of these you can kind of do. Yeah, there's some cause and effect too. If you wanted to write down what you think is the cause, usually we highlight that. But yeah, just pick one symbol that kind of speaks to you, and you can record in the chat box or write it down. So I'll give you a minute to think about that. Mhm. Yep. So I see one in the chat box. Yep. With the exclamation. So that's exactly a good example. Surprised that the popsicle was invented by mistake. Yes, exactly. I never knew it either. Yes, we love the exclamation. Yep. Another exclamation next to him experimenting and using his family's soda stash. Yep. I know. I love that it was just like left outside and created accidentally. And then
Obviously, he's
this
doing
is
this
such
because
like
I'm
a
like, I'm
Mhm.
like, his mother let him do this because clearly this was not his first rodeo. So that's the explanation for me.
I know, right? Because like apparently he was out there experimenting, the soda, the water. Um, he had a vision and he just didn't know it. Who knew we would have this to this day? Yes, but this is just a good example of seeing just like, what your kids are asked to do sometimes between the heart words and then this type of comprehension strategy as well. And it's a great thing to incorporate at home. Like, hey, I'll read a page of our book tonight, and then you read a page and you use a symbol, like just go ahead and circle a vocabulary word. And then usually we do like a kid-friendly definition. They'll tell me a word they don't know, we'll talk about it. Or maybe it's invention and I know that word, but how would you put that in your own words and say what is an invention? So like these are some of the things that um we get to go over here. Yeah, so that's just an example. Again, I'll be sending you guys the recording, any kind of resources that we use tonight as well. And I think that's almost covers it. Let me see. Yep. So yeah, so just some kind of final tips. Practicing heart words, even, I always say it's about consistency. It's not necessarily about duration. So even if you just do like 5 minutes a day of heart word flashcards, and I'll send you a list of all the heart word flashcards, focus on 3 words maximum a week, just so that they can really, because it's hard to memorize these different patterns. Um, so that'll help with retention. And then reading together, whenever you're reading with your kid, it can be that shared experience. You read a page, I read a page. That's okay. They don't have to read every single page. If you want to make it fun and engaging like that, use this strategy, even if it's like a bedtime story, whatever it may be, and let your child just kind of mark one thing per page. Then it can be like that jumping point for discussion about what you read. So kind of just like making that fun. And we do have, I'll be working on that in August, reading competition coming up. Like I'll send out a chart that everybody can use, but I want to make it fun. I want to make it like a almost like back to school, like end of summer reading competition, um, just to see how much we can consistently get the kids to read. There'll be some awesome prizes, of course, at the end, maybe do like a first, second, third place winners. So stay tuned for more information on that. But yeah, that is pretty much it for me. Any questions from anybody? Like just thinking about ways you could use this at home, anything like that? I know we've been mind blown by the English language tonight. So we will go get some oils now after that. And mind blown by the invention of the popsicle. So
You got essential wines?
yeah, you know what?
I do
That's
have
a
some recipes to use the essential oils in some
wow.
cocktails as well as mocktails. Yes.
Whoa. Oh, that's fun. Okay.
Yeah. See, that's why essential oils is fun. All this crazy stuff you didn't even know you could do with them.
It's so creative. Yeah. I love that. Wow. Yeah, I might need some of that too. Um, well, thank you guys. I really, really appreciate everybody coming tonight. I know it's a weekday. I know it can be hard, and I know you guys have crazy schedules because I always have to coordinate our sessions around all everybody's different schedules, but somehow we make it work. So I super appreciate it. Definitely reach out to me, reach out to Christina for that opportunity with the oils. And thank you guys. We will definitely continue doing these sessions monthly. So yeah, we'll be back in a month. But thank you guys so much. Very much appreciated. All right, well, have a great night, everybody, and I will be seeing all of you very soon.
Thank
Good
you.
everyone. Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Bye.
Good night. Thanks so much.
Good night.